This is Chris in Chicago. Hey, Mary Kay, can the offense be fixed, in quotes, enough over the bye week for these guys to make a push for the playoffs? Or do these guys seem like they have kind of packed it in for the year and there isn't much hope of getting guys on the same page? And I think the fixing the offense, Mary Kay, is the most interesting part of that question. Can you really do that in a bye week?
Well, I don't think it's going to be easy, especially in a week when you have just lost Jack Conklin for the rest of this season. I think that hurts a lot. Even when we look at Lamar Jackson, I think he's also struggling to a certain degree because he has tackle issues this season. Alejandro Villanueva, is not Ronnie Stanley. I mean, when you lose an all-pro tackle, that hurts. That hurts a lot. Blake Hance is nowhere near as good as Jack Conklin. It forces you to change the way that you call the game, and it just has a trickle down effect on a lot of things. So I don't know. They're going to have to, it's all going to have to come schematically. There's not much more they can do from a personnel standpoint. They can't. We already know that he's not changing the quarterback, right? And we already know that he did not take you up on your suggestion, your great suggestion today, Doug, to turn the play calling over to Alex Van Pelt. We talked to him about that today. We kind of grilled him a little bit, asked a few follow-up questions. Not happening. So basically, they're going to go with what they have, and it's just a matter of drawing it up differently. And I still feel like there are enough good players on this team and still enough good offensive linemen that you should be able to move the ball and score the football, which of course is the most important thing in trying to win a football game. You've got to score the football, and they're not doing that nearly enough. So there's got to be a way. I think more Kareem Hunt in the passing game would help. I don't think he was targeted much at all. He was targeted one time in the passing game yesterday because he was basically coming off of a calf injury, probably maybe shouldn't have really played in that game. But I think they felt like it was a big enough game to throw him out there and see if they could get something out of him. But he should be a little bit more healed up. So I think that will help. Maybe Donovan Peoples-Jones being a little bit more healed up from his groin injury will help. A few more weeks out from Jarvis's knee injury, Baker's myriad injuries. I think that will help because, nobody's coming in on a white horse to save this offense. They have to figure out how to make it work with what they have.
This is 30 different questions that I'm squeezing into one question. So it's, hey, Mary Kay, from a bunch of Browns insiders who want to know this. Why won't Kevin Stefanski give Alex Van Pelt a chance to call plays? And do you think he should? As you said, I wrote for Monday Morning that I thought he should. And there were at least one or two people who used the word stubborn, Mary Kay, in asking that question. Why won't he do it? And do you think it's a mistake if he does that? He's not going to let Alex Van Pelt do it.
Well, one of the reasons why I asked him, I said today, look, it's going so bad. I mean, do you feel like you want to take the responsibility for trying to, dig out of this tailspin that you're in? Or, do you kind of know that, you're in a situation right now for whatever reason, things that, can't be said necessarily out loud, that, the buck should stop at your desk instead of like dumping that on to Alex Van Pelt. I mean, if your quarterback just is so off this season that he's not going to necessarily get right, maybe you don't want to put that on Alex Van Pelt. Also, I don't necessarily think it's easily reversible. If you give it up, is that it? Are you done? Are you done 1.5 years into your play calling career? It's over. I mean, Andy Reid, look at Andy Reid. He calls plays after all these years, and other good coaches do as well. And I just don't think that Kevin's ready to be done with it yet, for one. I also think there is something to be said for when it's not going right, maybe, and you think why, but you can't say why. Maybe that is not the time to make somebody else sort of the scapegoat type of person. And then I think they do have enough of a collab going on that I think he feels like it's probably not necessarily going to make that much of a difference who actually speaks the play, like who says it in the moment. Because I think they do enough of, they script it together, they game plan it together, and then they have a couple of guys, 3, 4 guys in the headset, and they kind of work on it together. So I don't think he feels like it's going to make some cataclysmic difference.